You know, I can't believe it took a self-deprecating title for you to click on my video. I no longer talk to myself like that. This tells me more about you than it does about me. In times of uncertainty and lacking purpose, you have to go back to your why, they say. And today I had to revisit my why as the pandemic, psychological and emotional fatigue is creeping in and settling into my soul. However, I am trying to blast through this and find a motivation to keep creating content so that we could achieve our goals here in 2021. Some people would assume that you're only creating content for social media for the clout, and at first glance it could seem like a purely narcissistic and egotistical pursuit. However, I would like to argue that it isn't just that. You see, I uploaded my first YouTube video in 2012 or 2013, and then I went on to create a dozen more videos, but then I suddenly stopped because, well, I had no idea of the potential of YouTube and the economy that would surround content creation online. As a youth, I had no idea that there was jobs as video editors or jobs as videographers or anything surrounding making a living creating videos. That plus a lack of self-awareness and low self-esteem led me to just do whatever it was that the people around me were telling me to do or what my friends were doing. I had no ability to look internally and figure out what it was that I wanted to do. So I decided to embark on a long and excruciating journey of academia. At the time, I was working in the service industry at a restaurant, and I was convinced that maybe the service industry was something that I wanted to do in the future. So I ended up going to the advisor and asking her to sign me up to restaurant management, and then she told me that I couldn't, but that I could sign up to hotel management. And I didn't want to go home again and to tell my parents that I hadn't signed up for school. So I'm like, hey, what the hell, let's do hotel management. For some reason, when I was signing up, I was envisioning owning hotels. I was so clueless at the time, and I thought I liked the hotel industry because whenever I would visit hotels, I would feel amazing, but I failed to realize that I would only feel amazing as a client and not necessarily as a worker there. So anyways, I ended up doing 3 long years of hotel management, and it's supposed to be a degree that you jump into the workforce right after, but I didn't jump into the workforce. I just signed up for university right after that, and then I went into politics and philosophy. At the time, I was having a lot of existential crises, and I was like digging up all this information about philosophy, about being, about our purpose in the universe. So it was around that time, so I ended up signing up in philosophy and politics because I was into it just for that short period of time. I ended up doing that for a bunch of years. Anyways, I failed my way into getting a bachelor's degree somehow. And for the most part, I was actually extremely anxious and like depressed throughout my whole school career, if you want to call it that, or my academic career rather. Now, I don't regret getting a bachelor's degree in the most prestigious universities the city has to offer. I don't regret those decisions because they made me who I am today. But if I had the self-awareness to dig deep and figure out what it is that I wanted, I would have chosen a completely different path. And I actually salute all the high school dropouts who went on to actually build a sustainable career for themselves and to be further along the line when it comes to career, because at the time they were shamed for being, I guess, high school dropouts or kids that didn't go to school. But those kids are actually, a lot of them are actually successful and are further along in their careers, and they already have houses, they already started family, just because they spend more mental energy or more time trying to figure out their careers. What was once seemed shameful could be seen as a very esteemed thing to do. To not listen to anyone or listen to the masses and to kind of follow your own path is something that demands a lot of integrity and a lot of self-belief. All of this to lead me to the lesson of this video and to the message that I would tell the 22-year-old bitch-ass version of myself.
Hey yo, sit your bitch ass down, man. Let me slap some wisdom into you, young blood.
Address your insecurities and your fears because you are your only obstacle. It took me until my late 20s for me to even accept the idea that I have fears and insecurities, and I really wish that I could have done this sooner. As a guy, you kind of have no idea how to express yourself. You're kind of told to suck it up and keep it moving. If you're able to identify your insecurities and your fears, you're better able to control, manage, and possibly overcome them. And once you write them down, they hold a lot less power over you. Not realizing what was going on an internal level led led to a lot of conflict in my career choices, in my academic path, and also in my relationships. I can easily recall a handful of times in my 20s where the girl I liked me back, and it was like, oh, I was gonna get with the girl of my dreams or whatever, and everything is going well, and suddenly I would snap at a trivial reason, mostly because I had unresolved issues internally. Now, why am I sharing all this? The reason why I'm sharing all this is that I wish that I could send this message back to the 22-year-old version of myself. In order to pursue any big goals as an entrepreneur, as a YouTuber, or as an actor, or pretty much any big pursuit, you kind of have to address your fears and your insecurities as soon as possible. And if you write them down, which that's what I did, I wrote them down in my black notebook to make sure that you know what they are, so whenever that feeling does emerge, you kind of know it, you're aware of it, and being aware of it is the first step in overcoming it and controlling it. And you could easily click ignore on it because you're completely self-aware of whatever it is that you're struggling with. The reason why I continue pursuing becoming a YouTuber even though I'm not getting the views or the subscribers that I want to be getting is because it forces you to become a better version of yourself, because you have to address your fears, you have to address your insecurities, and you have to overcome them, or at least build the courage to overcome them on a regular basis. One of the main ingredients that's the difference between the masses and the people who have quote unquote made it in our industries or whatnot is that self-mastery, is that ability to be able to overcome fears and insecurities. For a large part of my 20s, I didn't have the self-esteem because I was unable to become aware of the childhood traumas that were still, I guess, haunting me or making me feel that I wasn't worthy enough.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't.
So as I was having a really tough first quarter, obviously there's a lot of pandemic emotional psychological fatigue that's going on, but I had to go back to my black book and remind myself that the reason why I create is to liberate myself and to hopefully help others liberate themselves. Alright guys, if you enjoyed watching this video, please consider subscribing, smashing that like button, and commenting below and sharing your thoughts with me. I read every single comment. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'll catch you guys in the next one, alright?